All right, I think I should be good. I'm just gonna give it a minute. Wait for some people to show up. Let me know when you show up. Say what's up so I can see if my audio is okay. I'm gonna try this out. I'm trying this out this time, and we're gonna see kind of how it goes because I'm not sure how this is gonna go. I'm not sure if it's gonna be any issues or anything like that, but we're gonna give it a shot. I've been talking about I was gonna do a read through. I was wanted to, I don't know. I wanted to wait and to get like the software and shit on the computer, but with me being on the road and stuff, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna just try to do it over the phone, see if the audio comes through, good enough on the phone to where everybody can kind of hear it. I did try it out a little bit in a recording, but it seemed like it came out pretty good, but I'm not 100% sure. But but it seemed like the audio went good. So let me know, okay? Let me know if the audio is good, because if the audio isn't good, then it's gonna be bad. It's not gonna be great. But let's see how I can do this. Let's see. Cause I gotta know the right amount of sound to see if it's loud enough, or I need to do it. If I need to have it lower, if I need to have it higher, like I gotta let somebody's gotta let me know. But okay, so let me try it out and let me know. Anybody who's watching, let me know if it's too loud. Let me know if it's not loud enough, and I can do some tweaks. I can do some tweaks and turn it up or turn it down or whatever. So, all right, so here we go. Let me know. See how this is gonna go. Up. Okay, hold on.
Presents He Who Fights with Monsters. Book 1 of He Who Fights with Monsters. Written by Shirtaloon. Performed by Heath Miller. Chapter 1. Strange Business. Jason woke up naked, face down in the grass. That was not how he expected to wake up, since he had gone to sleep in his own bed and his own Darth Vader boxer shorts.
Or maybe I can turn it down a little bit.
From the feel of the cool grass on his unmentionables, he had been removed from his bed and shorts, both.
Or maybe I can turn it up.
The last thing he recalled was doing what he did most nights, playing video games until he got...
All right. What's up? What's up, Marcin? Listen. Appreciate you joining in. I need some help, okay? I need you to let me know if the audio is okay. Let me know if it needs to be higher, or let me know if it needs to be lower, so I can kind of give some tweaks, okay? So help me out a little bit. So let me resume it again.
Until he got tired, and then fumbling his way into bed. The grass he woke up on was
what about this? Is this all right?
A dense bed of lush green softness. It wasn't like any grass he had encountered before, which was a little unusual. His father was...
Okay, so that sounds good, okay. Because it's not... It seems like it's pretty loud on my end, but it's not like too loud to be annoying. So I just want to make sure that it's coming through clear so that everybody can kind of hear what's being said. So I'm not really paying attention to what they're saying yet, but yeah, so I've been meaning to do a read through about this for a while, but if you probably didn't catch me in the beginning, but I've been meaning to do a read through of this for a while. I was gonna wait until I got home and try to get like the computer and all that stuff. So I'm just like, I could probably try to make it work on the road. So I figured I'd do it this way and have the audio go through my speakers and kind of see how that sounds, live and whatnot. But okay. Said the audio is good, so that's cool. Yeah, so basically, I don't know shit about this story at all. I haven't done any research. I know that it was one of the things that a few of y'all had recommended that I start reading and start listening to. So I'm going to do it now. There was another story I started reading, and I already got through the first book. I was thinking about maybe doing a live on that one, but I'm just like, you know what? I'll try to start. You said that pretty much addicted. Okay, cool. I have no idea what the story is about. I know it's kind of like, I don't know, like, I guess like a RPG type of thing. I honestly, I have no idea. I have no clue. But I know that there's some dude named Jason in the beginning of it, so we'll kind of see how it goes. And the way I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna just well, I appreciate. I hope you won't spoil shit. That'd be kind of fucked up if you spoil for me. But the way I'm gonna do this is that I'm going to I'll just pause it and kind of give my thoughts, kind of give like my commentary about the whole thing while I'm kind of going through. But yeah, so let's just get into it then, because I have no clue.
By Shirtaloon, performed by Heath Miller. Chapter 1. Strange Business.
Also, let me say this really quick.
Jason,
I have no idea how far I'm gonna get into it today. I might just do chapter 1, maybe 1 and 2. I'm gonna try to keep track of all this, so that way I'm gonna try to end it on the chapter, so that way I can kind of keep track of like how far I went along with it, and kind of just go from there. But okay, let me start back again. Hopefully I won't have no issues keeping this uploaded. If this shit can't stay uploaded, then the only way I could probably try to do this would be like a Patreon or something. That'd be like my only other choice. Because I don't want to sit and read through every chapter. Like, it's a lot to kind of read through all the chapters like I do for T-Bait. So, I don't know if I want to read through this. I'm not sure. But anyway, let me go.
Jason woke up naked, face down in the grass. That was not how he expected to wake up, since he had gone to sleep in his own bed and his own Darth Vader boxer shorts. From the feel of the cool grass on his unmentionables, he had been removed from his bed and shorts both. The last thing he recalled was doing what he did most nights, playing video games until he got tired and then fumbling his way into bed.
As far as T-Bait goes, I mean, I don't know. What was the last part of T-Bait that you actually listened to, or that you read? Because I'm not sure where you're at right now. But I mean, as far as T-Bait goes, I mean, anything that's going on with Arthur is always interesting. But right now, Arthur is he's in the Keystone, the fourth Keystone or whatever. So he's trying to master fate at this point. So that's kind of where we're at right now. But interesting. I mean, it's some interesting things. It's some cool stuff. Gideon and Ren, they worked out some cool stuff. So I mean, with their whole project they was doing. So that's kind of cool. I remember Arthur and Chul. You talking about Chul, not Jewel. You talking about Chul was fighting with Tess and this third dude. Oh, you're all the way back there. Oh shit. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, you're a while back. Sheesh. Yeah, you gotta. I see. I don't want to spoil. You're far away. You have to do a lot of reading to catch up. I don't want to spoil a whole lot, but yeah, it's some interesting stuff. It's definitely some interesting stuff. Some interesting stuff with Chul. Some interesting stuff with Arthur. Like I said, he's just trying to master fate right now at this point. But yeah, you have to catch up, man. You have to catch up. But anyway, let me go back and re-listen to. So we got Jason. I'm trying to stay focused on this, right? I'm trying to stay focused on this for the moment, right? No T-Bait for now. Your version of Jason? Okay, I don't know what that means. But anyway, let me go. So he woke up naked. That's what I'm at.
Strange
he woke up naked.
Business.
Some shit's going on.
Jason woke up naked, face down in the grass. That was not how he expected to wake up, since he had gone to sleep in his own bed and his own Darth Vader boxer shorts.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
From the feel of the cool grass on his unmentionables, he had been removed from his bed and shorts both. The last thing he recalled was doing what he did most nights, playing video games until he got tired and then fumbling his way into bed. The grass he woke up on was weirdly comfortable, a dense bed of lush green softness. It wasn't like any grass he had encountered before, which was a little unusual. His father was a landscape architect, and Jason had grown up learning more about grass than he ever wanted to know. Mostly because it was the only escape from his mother's Japanese lessons.
I might want to speed this up.
Jason rolled himself over and sat up.
Let me see how 1.2
He was feeling odd, beyond just the unusual circumstances. It wasn't a bad sensation, more like waking up after a really long sleep. There was the lingering sober, but also a feeling of refreshed energy. He ran a hand over his head, only to be startled when he realized his hair was missing. He felt about his head with both hands,
Wait, he's bald?
but his head was balloon smooth. He made a quick check with his eyes and hands, realizing there was no hair anywhere on his body. No eyebrows, nothing on his chest or arms or...
So this kind of reminded me of what is it? It's Sword Art Online. That's kind of what it reminded me of. You wake up and you're just like in this new world, and you know you're bald and you don't know what's going on. That's what it's kind of reminded me of. I haven't read or watched Sword Art Online in forever. That was a long ass time ago, but that's what it's kind of reminding me of right now.
Other places. I thought it was meant to look bigger when you trimmed. He pushed himself to his feet and started assessing
What the
his
fuck was that? Yo, wait. He said what?
But his head was balloon smooth. He made a quick check with his eyes and hands, realizing there was no hair anywhere on his body. No eyebrows, nothing on his chest or arms or other places.
Other places. Oh,
I thought it was meant to look bigger when you trimmed.
It's supposed to look big. It's supposed to.
He pushed himself to his feet and started assessing his environment.
That's crazy.
Casting his gaze to the sky, he saw that the sun was high and the air was warm. The sky was unbroken blue, the blazing orb burning away so much as the merest hint of cloud. Sunburn, more than cold, was likely to threaten his exposed extremities. Looking around, he saw that he was boxed in between two long, tall hedges. Glancing up and down the dead straight lane, side junctions headed off at sharp right angles in either direction. The lane itself was wide and grassy, with plenty of room for unconscious sprawling. The hedge walls were meticulously trimmed. After an unhappy glance down at his bald, naked body, he set off at random to explore.
Okay.
He quickly discovered he was in a hedge maze, the living walls cultivated to almost twice Jason's height. Jason's first thought was to climb one to get a better sense of his location, but a closer examination of the hedges changed his mind. Instead of the usual boxwood, the hedges were something very prickly, and he was very naked. He looked up and down the path he was on, with neither direction looking any better than the other. What the bloody hell is going on? As if in response to his question, something appeared in front of him. It looked like a touchscreen, floating in the air, disembodied.
Okay.
He reached out to
So
touch
it's like
it with an experimental finger,
solo
the
leveling
screen
now.
shimmering as his finger
Got
passed
some touch
straight
screens.
through.
Here's your strength, your agility.
Hologram? He looked at the
Your
ground
speed.
and nearby hedges for some kind of projector, but as he started moving, the screen followed. There was text on the screen, which he read. New quest. Stranger in a strange land. You have awoken in a place you do not know.
Okay.
Explore the area to discover more.
Okay.
Objective. Explore the hedge maze. 0 of 1. Reward. Simple pants.
So you get some pads.
Huh.
Okay.
He looked around suspiciously. He carefully probed.
This is also too kind of like what's that one? What's that one? It's not a manga. It's like a manhwa, I believe. But I'm omniscient reader, some shit like that. I started reading that for a while too, but then I kind of stopped. It was just kind of, I don't know. It was really generic, but it kind of reminds me of that too. Kind of reminds me of that. But okay, so he gotta explore and get some pants at this point. And all these stories start off so slow. It's like, okay, you gotta really like kind of get into it for a while. Wanted to check it. Yeah, it's very generic, to be honest. The omniscient or omniscient, whatever reader, very generic. It's nothing really stands out as far as like I mean the okay, they got like a little bit of a thing that's kind of stands out as far as like, yeah, you're in an RPG, but it takes place in the real world, where like the real world turns into an RPG. So that's kind of interesting. And then as far as like the way that it works, as far as like getting abilities and things like that, you're given powers from the gods. So gods are like watching you, and they're like placing bets, and they're like it's kind of crazy the way it works, but it's basically the guys, they're kind of watching everything, and they're kind of like, oh, who do I like, who do I want to help, who do I want to make a bond with, or whatever. And it's basically like television. You're on television and you're in the RPG world that takes place in the real world, and people get killed and all this other crazy ass shit. But the main character is very generic. That's basically what I'm trying to say. But they got some interesting things about it, but the main character is just too generic for me. Isekai reincarnation or something, or some other world usually starts slow. It needs to acquaint the reader, but yeah, you're right about that. As far as like the beginning, it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same. I don't know. If they really want to captivate the audience, though, they gotta have something interesting to get you in it. So it's just like, like how like Solo Leveling. I really like the way Solo Leveling has started, because it's just like they kind of threw you in it, like, oh, okay, he's got to go into this dungeon, and then he goes to the dungeon, and then everybody in that bitch dies. It's just kind of like, wait, what the fuck? Everybody's just getting murked right now, and it's just they kind of just throw your ass in it. I was like, oh shit, everybody really just dying right now. Heads getting chopped off, bodies getting cut in half, just like, what the fuck? And then the main character's dying, and you're just like, wait, what? And then so it kind of gets you hyped getting in. So this is just really, really slow. So we'll see. We'll see.
Probed the pointy foliage of the hedge walls,
he's got to explore,
looking for hidden cameras. Looking up at the sky, he didn't spot any camera drones. What he did notice was the moon, pale and easy to overlook in the daylight. Then he noticed another moon. That can't be right. Jason looked down at the floating screen, then back up at the sky. Still 2 moons. Am I going nuts? Jason sat down on the grass, unsure what to do. He kept glancing up at the sky and the extra moon. In front of him, the screen still waited patiently.
Multiple moons, that's
normal. This is crazy. I mean, a quest? I'm not a level 1 sorcerer. Another screen appeared next to the first. Jason Asano. Race, Outworlder.
So 360 Gunner, yo, me and you both. Solo Leveling is what got me into T-Bait as well. I finished reading Solo Leveling. I made a video about that too. Or no, I didn't make a video about it. I kind of talked about it when I did the video I got on here about, thank you for 100 subscribers. I had talked about it a little bit, but Solo Leveling is what got me into T-Bait as well, because I finished Solo Leveling. After I finished Solo Leveling, I was trying to find something else to read. And then I stumbled upon T-Bait because it was like high up as far as like the ratings. And then I think I tried to read something of the Northern Blade or something like that. I read that or whatever. That was kind of meh. But then T-Bait, I'm started reading that, and I'm just like, oh shit, this is pretty good. Shit, this Arthur character is pretty dope. And so that's kind of what got me into that. So yeah, me and you both. Solo Leveling was just hype. It was just Sun Jin Woo hype. That's all it was. Just all hype. Sun Jin Woo, Beru, and all this fucking shit was just dope.
Current rank, normal. Progression to Iron rank, 0%. 0 of 4 essences.
Iron rank, okay.
Attributes, power, no essence, normal. Speed, no essence, normal. Okay. Spirit, no essence, normal. Recovery, no essence,
recovery,
normal.
Okay.
Racial abilities, Outworlder.
Wait,
interface,
racial abilities,
quest system, inventory.
Outworlder? Is that what he said? Outworlder?
Attributes, power, no essence, normal. Speed, no essence, normal. Spirit, no essence, normal. Recovery, no essence, normal. Racial abilities, Outworlder.
Outworlder?
Interface, quest system, inventory, map, astral affinity, mysterious stranger.
So they got like everything RPG. They got all the regular abilities, you got special abilities, you got recovery abilities, you got your racial abilities. So he's an Outworlder, so he's not human. So I wonder. Okay. So what I'm really curious about, this Jason character. I'm really curious whether I'm gonna hate this character or not. Like, I don't want no simpy ass bitch character. I really don't want that. Like, I'm so sick of these simps, man. So I really hope he's not a simp. And then I'm hoping that whatever type of side characters or other side, like other side characters, I hope that they actually are good and not fucking annoying. But have no idea what to expect. So I'm just kind of going into it because I just like the main character's got to be good, man. You got to have a good main character. So Jason's cool. I like his name. I like that it's a basic ass name that I could just say. It's not nothing fucking weird and crazy. So that's a plus already. But yeah, let's get to know Jason. Let's see if Jason's a bitch or not, or is he just cool, or is he? I wonder if he like has experience. Like, oh yeah, in my regular life. I wonder if he can like switch back and forth between whatever world he's in now and like go back to his normal world or whatever. I wonder if they're gonna like transition, do like a back and forth type of thing, or is he gonna just strictly stay in this new RPG world? And I'm wondering if he's gonna have any. Oh, is he like Jason's a gamer? You know, he's a lame ass dork, or not dork. He's a loser who stays at home, jacks off and plays video games all day, and you know he's gonna just cruise through all this shit because he knows all the cheats, and it can go in so many different ways. I'm wondering what's gonna happen.
Essences 0 of 4. No essence, no attribute, 0 of 5. No essence, no attribute, 0 of 5.
I don't want you to say anything.
No essence, no attribute, 0 of 5. No essence,
what is it
no
called?
attribute,
Speculate.
0 of
I'm just
5.
speculating.
Is this a character sheet? Am I meant to understand any of this? He shook his head in bewilderment. It could have at least gone with a game system I know. He looked over the screen again. Map, he read, latching onto something familiar. I know what maps are. How do I see the map? A new screen obligingly appeared. But as it was the third screen, the space in front of him was getting crowded. He absently thought it would be convenient for the other screens to close, which they immediately did. I'm sure that's good.
Okay.
Things were getting harder to explain away, even ignoring the extra moon. Some kind of voice command hologram was implausible, but not impossible.
Voice command.
Mental command holograms were something else entirely. I'm becoming increasingly concerned. Also, I'm talking to myself a lot. I'm sure that's fine, and definitely not a defense mechanism to stave off panic. Hoping it wouldn't work, he started experimenting. He was able to open and close any of the windows with a simple thought.
Okay. Normal.
Maybe you're unconscious.
Normal.
He reassured himself. Maybe you have a brain tumor and you're in hospital somewhere. Or passed out on the floor, hallucinating in an asylum. A nice one, with a big garden. But no hedge maze. He closed his eyes with a groan. How is this the way I'm trying to comfort myself?
I kind of want to speed this up a little bit.
Jason took a deep breath, letting it out slowly before opening his eyes again. The screens were still there, waiting. Just go with it, I guess, he told himself. Reserve judgment until more information is available. That's the rational approach. He turned his gaze back to the map floating in front of him. It looked like a map from any video game, complete with a location listing. Zone, Vane Estate, Hedge Maze. Also like a video game map, it was mostly obscured. The only unveiled portion was the small section of the hedge maze he had already explored.
Right, because
he tried moving the map with mental commands, finding he could zoom it in and out as easily as he could open and close the disembodied screens. Zooming all the way out, he reached a world map that looked both familiar and unfamiliar. Although the details were obscured, he could decipher the outline of the continents. Disturbingly, they weren't quite the same as the ones he knew. Southeast Asia was a singular landmass, pushing Australia south and east, where it looked to have consumed New Zealand. The Iberian and Arabian peninsulas were missing entirely, leaving Africa wholly disconnected from Europe and Asia. Sri Lanka was further south and several times larger.
So this dude can see, he got a map of like the entire continent, like the world. Like, at first I thought it was like a map of just like, oh, his small little area or whatever. But now he's talking about the differences in the actual continents and where Africa is and Asia and all this other stuff. So he has like a whole world map. So I'm guessing, it's kind of like Earth, but I guess it's just two moons. It's two moons, I guess. He said without details. Well, yeah, I mean, that's what it seems like. He just got like the basics of the map or whatever. Oh shit, am I right? Where was I at?
Details were obscured. He could decipher the outline of the continents.
Okay, yeah, the details.
They weren't quite the same as the ones.
Okay, the details were obscure.
So he closed the disembodied screens.
Okay.
Zooming all the way out, he reached a world map that looked both familiar and unfamiliar. Although the details were obscured, he could decipher the outline of the continents. Disturbingly, they weren't quite the same as the ones he knew.
Okay.
Southeast Asia was a singular landmass, pushing Australia south and east.
Okay, I kind of get it now. So it's similar, but not quite the same, and the details are obscured, and he's talking about the differences. Okay, I got you.
Where it looked to have consumed New Zealand. The Iberian and Arabian peninsulas were missing entirely, leaving Africa wholly disconnected from Europe and Asia. Sri Lanka was further south and several times larger, making for a huge landmass in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Well, that's not what the world looks like. Lacks cartography. According to the map, Jason was in southwest Africa, somewhere around inland Namibia. He looked at the rich green hedges boxing him in. The lush grass felt cool under his feet. He felt the hot, but not dry, air on his skin. This doesn't feel like the Kalahari Desert. He sighed, closing the map. This is some
And by the way, drop me a like in the video, you guys. Drop me a like and let me know if you want me to continue doing this. And let me know also if the audio is good enough, if it's actually, you know, pretty decent quality, because I was afraid that the quality wasn't gonna be that great. But yeah, let me know if you want to keep doing this, because we'll kind of see how this goes. We're gonna kind of see how this goes. Like I said, I'm not gonna read ahead or anything like that. I'm gonna just kind of stay where we're at, and then what I'll do is I'll try to do like a live like this. Maybe, I don't know, it might end up being let me not guarantee anything, but I'll be doing this more frequently per week compared to the T-bait stuff. So like, you know, especially when I'm on the road, I'll end up what is this story though? The story is on the title, is He Who Fights with Monsters, Book 1. He Who Fights with Monsters, Book 1. And anyway, RPG type of thing or whatever. Like I said, just getting into it. But never heard of this one. Hey, you can join in. We can follow this shit together and kind of see where it is. People like it. My dude Marcin, he says it's dope. He's addicted. So must be pretty good if you like the RPG type of stuff. Like, it should be pretty dope. But yeah. So let me know if I should keep doing this though. And I'm glad the audio is fine, because that's kind of what I was worried about. But anyway, if y'all got any questions or anything, y'all can ask Marcin, because he knows all about it. He knows more than I don't know. I'm reading it for the first time too, so we'll see.
Strange business. He pulled up his character sheet again. Racial abilities. Outworlder. Interface. Quest system. Inventory. Map. Astral affinity. Mysterious stranger.
Okay, you're driving.
Shouldn't my race be human? What's an outworlder?
Right.
Jason half expected another screen to appear, but nothing did. So he looked down the list. Interface seems obvious. Quest system too, I guess. Inventory? A window
That's
appeared,
funny, Bible,
dominated
man.
by an almost empty grid of icon slots. There were 5 spaces down and 8 across, for a total of 40. There was also what looked like a currency counter at the bottom, depicting 6 different coins. Each coin had a counter that read 0. Well, that's certainly a classic inventory.
So they are
Jason
coins.
said.
Okay.
Can I really put stuff in here? There was one item in the inventory, occupying the first slot. It was some kind of red icon, presumably representing an actual item. All right, Jason, time to see how nuts you've really gone. How do I get this thing out? After some quick trial and error, he discovered it was as simple as plucking the icon straight out of the screen. The icon vanished and the item appeared magically in his hand. It was a medallion, the size of his palm. It looked and felt like polished red marble, with gold engravings on both sides. It was pleasantly warm to the touch. On one side, the engraving was a picture of a firebird, while the other had symbols reading, Authority.
Really quick, Bible man. Lord of Mysteries. That was one of the things that was you must have been the one that had recommended it a long time ago. Does that have an audio version? Because the audio version, I can do that a lot easier than the reading part. I mostly listen to a lot of my stuff, but I'm just wondering if the Lord of Mysteries have an audio version of it. Because if it does, I might start that too, depending upon how well each video kind of does. So there's websites with audio. I'm talking about like are you talking about like the like they read it for you type of thing? That might be what you might be talking about. I ain't talking about reading it for you. I'm more so like an audio book actually. You said hold on. Okay, we'll see. But let me continue.
Authority of the world.
So right now he's trying to figure out
with
how
gold
to
engravings
open
on
up
both
his
sides.
inventory.
It was pleasantly warm to the touch. On one side, the engraving was a picture of a firebird, while the other had symbols reading, Authority of the World Phoenix. Well, that just magically appeared out of thin air, Jason said. That's definitely not possible. Wait, why can I read this? I never even learned Japanese properly. Jason's father, Ken Asano, was born in Japan, but raised in Australia from a very young age, proving there's no zealot like a convert. Ken was all about the Australian lifestyle, from pub rock to footy matches and weekend barbecues. He fell right in.
So what I mean by that is so certain sites you go to or certain apps you might have, you can put in the text and do like a copy and paste type of thing, and then they'll read it aloud for you. So they have that type of they have that type of thing you can do. But then you have the actual audio book, which is a professional who reads it and does like changing their voice and stuff like that to change up the different characters and stuff. That's what I mean. So I'm wondering if it's an actual professional audiobook or is it just reading aloud with some regular, AI type of thing. There's no English audiobook. Okay, there's no English audiobook. I got you.
Right in with the family of his wife, Cheryl, which was as Australian as he could ask for. Miners and farmers, tracing their bloodline back through bushrangers, convicts, and Indigenous Australians. Ironically, Cheryl was the one fascinated with Japan, trying to engage her children with their father's cultural heritage. Despite strong support from her mother-in-law, results were mixed. Jason tried putting the red tablet back into the inventory. His first attempt was to shove it into the screen, which, surprisingly, worked.
Okay.
It vanished from his hands and reappeared as an icon. That's disconcerting. Jason's grip on reality was feeling increasingly tenuous. The screens were odd.
It's starting off so slow. I'm just like, God damn, like, have like a meteor fall out of the sky or some shit right now. Like, I don't know. It's just starting off so goddamn. See, I got patience, though. But like, God damn, it's starting off so slow. I understand, though. He's got to get used to, like, figuring out how the world and stuff works and how the whole, RPG aspects of it work. But I have the patience. I can follow through. But I'm just kind of wishing like a fucking, I don't know, a great wolf comes out and he got to fight it with a stick or some shit. Like something crazy.
But could conceivably, if implausibly, be the product of hidden hologram projectors. It was when they started responding to his thoughts that he started to get worried. And now he was pulling objects out of thin air. He closed the inventory and pulled up his character sheet again. Next down the ability list was the map, which he'd already looked at, then Astral Affinity. Ability, Astral Affinity. Increased resistance to dimension effects and astral forces. Dimension abilities have increased effect, and transcendent damage is increased. No idea what that means. Only one ability remained. Ability, Mysterious Stranger. Language Adaptation. Essence, Awakening Stone, and Skill Book Absorption. Immunity to identification and tracking effects. Language adaptation.
Well, that seems like a pretty good bonus. So what? So he can adapt to any language. So that means that he can read any language. He can absorb skill books. That makes sense. You got skill books that increase your skills. You just absorb them. But then he also can't be tracked and can't be identified. I mean, that seems like a big ass plus. You not being able to get tracked or identified. So that means that people who meet you, they won't know what your abilities are. They won't know what your power level is. Man, I remember that one dude from Sword Art Online. His ass was so overpowered. His ass just had all the abilities. He had so many abilities, man. That shit was so crazy. Just skim the status window text. Yeah, exactly. I see. That's what I'm saying. So all this is new to this guy. So it seems to me like I guess he's not used to RPGs or anything like that. Because immediately, if any of us woke up into a fucking RPG, we're just like, oh shit, this is a RPG world. Oh fuck. Like, fucking, can I press this? Well, if I think about this, we'll be like all into it, trying to pull out the sword. How do I survive? What's my quest? What I gotta do? I gotta meet up with people, form a pack or some shit. But he's just like, oh my god, what is this? 2 moons? Oh my god, what's going on? Can I, I don't know. But so obviously he's not used to it. He's not familiar with RPG elements or video games or anything like that. So maybe he's an accountant who's never played a video game in his life, and he just woke up like, what the hell is this?
Adaptation. Is that how I read the weird writing on the tablet? He took the tablet out again. What is this thing? Item. World Phoenix token. Transcendent rank. Legendary.
Oh,
Question
shit.
mark, question mark, question mark.
Oh, shit.
Consumable. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Everything. What the fuck does that mean?
Effect. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Okay.
Effect. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Wait,
Uses
hold the fuck
remaining
on. So,
1 of 1.
this is a legendary item. All these question marks. He don't know what it does with it. So this is some cheating ass shit right here. See, look, we already starting off cheating. How you got some legendary token and some Phoenix shit? So what? You can make a bond with a Phoenix or something and just rejuvenate, come back to life whenever you're dead? He already starting off with bonuses.
Thing. Item. World Phoenix token. Transcendent rank. Legendary. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Consumable. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Effect. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Effect. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Uses remaining 1 of 1.
Okay.
Question marks. That's enlightening.
Okay.
Do I have to pay a wizard to identify items? He put the tablet away, closing all the open windows.
I mean, I guess you gotta start off with something that separates you from the
All right,
competition,
then,
right?
he said, looking up and down the pathway he was on. Neither offered anything to recommend it over the other. It's no yellow wood, he told himself. But I guess it's time to Robert Frost this thing. He picked a direction at random and set off. I really wish I had clothes on.
Oh no, I'm like, is he still naked? Shit.
Jason was walking through the maze, the map open in front of him. It was being unveiled as he walked. His current plan was to reveal enough that he could plot a way out. He froze when he heard a rustle in the hedges.
Okay. Something's happening.
G'day, he called out, hands moving to nervously hide his unmentionables. Hello?
His unmentionables.
Buenos
Okay.
dias. Guten Morgen. There wasn't any response. Maybe it's not morning. Guten Tag. There still wasn't any response.
So he's speaking
Yeah,
all,
Jason.
a bunch
he
of different
muttered to
languages,
himself.
I guess?
That was the problem. You got the time of day wrong. He shrugged. Makes as much sense as anything else here, I guess. He was about to resume walking when a window appeared. New quest. No shirt, no shoes, no service. For unknown reasons, your immediate area has become infested with lesser monsters.
What?
Objective. Discover the reason lesser monsters have infested the area. 0 of 1. Reward. Simple shirt. Bonus
Bruh.
objective. Defeat 10 lesser monsters. 0 of 10. Reward. Simple footwear.
Bruh.
Monsters?
Bruh, so he gotta so he gotta beat up monsters just to get simple clothes? That's crazy. They can at least give him, like, I don't know, a monster heart or something, some item that he can use to kind of like combine with something to make a sword or something like that. Like, no, he gotta literally defeat lesser, well, we'll see how strong these lesser monsters are gonna be, but gotta defeat some lesser monsters just to get simple clothes. Like, that's kind of whack. That's whack as hell.
That doesn't sound plausible. Jason was looking
Oh no,
around
shit ass
suspiciously
reward.
when something small came hurtling from the bottom of a hedge. His hands shot back over his privates, which left his head an exposed target. He was blinded by something latching onto his face, something sharp digging painfully into his scalp. He yanked it off with both hands,
slug?
screaming as a chunk of skin went with it.
A tick?
He dropped to his knees, slamming the thing into the ground over and over until it stopped struggling.
A botfly?
You have defeated Potent Hamster. Defeat lesser monsters, 1 of 10.
Potent hamster?
Jason released the creature and scuttled back, still on his hands and knees.
A hamster?
His heart was racing, the wounds on his head throbbing. Blood trickled down his face, and he wiped it away from his eyes. What in the merry hell is happening? How did a hamster jump on my head?
Right. What the
Jason looked at the creature. According to the window that popped up, it was some kind of hamster, but was easily as big as Jason's head. That made it bigger than any hamster he had heard of. It was distended from being pounded into the dirt, as well as streaked with blood from Jason's head. He crawled forwards cautiously, ready to jump back. Extending a hesitant finger, he poked at it. Would you like to loot Potent Hamster?
Oh, he
Jason
can
rocked
loot
back,
the
hands
hamster.
clutching his bald head.
Okay.
His fingers found his wound, and he yelped in pain. What the hell is going on?
Well, that's the end of chapter 1. Okay. I mean, okay, we kind of getting started. A hamster dove on his head and had some small injury. I wonder if he got like I don't know if he had like a life force. If he had like a life force like out of 100 or maybe it goes to like 1,000 or some shit like that. I wonder if you can see how much health he goes down. But okay, so I mean, we're starting off okay. Let's go to chapter 2.
Chapter 2. Of course, magic is a thing. Jason read the screen again. Would you like to loot Potent Hamster? Yes? The body of the dead creature made a fizzing sound, like a rapid chemical reaction. The body started melting rapidly. First the flesh, then even the skeleton, all dissolving into rainbow-colored smoke. It seemed pretty until it hit Jason with a stench thick as cheese, like burned hair and rotting meat. He scrambled away to escape the rancid smell, dry heaving on all fours. Looking over as he hacked out coughs, he saw the creature's body had vanished, as if it never existed at all.
So gonna get like some bones?
He ignored the window that popped up, dropping onto his back in the soft grass.
Oh my god.
I hate this, he told the sky. I'm naked, bleeding, and have no idea where I am. I can't think of any better explanation for what's happening than that I've lost my bloody mind. Worst of all, I'm going to get sunburnt.
He's got to be an accountant or something.
See a lot of outdoor exposure. He sat up with a groan, reading the screen, waiting for him. Monster Core, Lesser, has been added to your inventory. Healing Unguent, Iron, has been added to your inventory.
Wait, what? 10
Lesser Spirit Coins have been added to your inventory.
Oh, shit!
Oh, straight into the inventory.
Oh, so
that place that lets me make things appear and disappear.
Okay, so he's getting quite a bit of stuff just from just one hamster. Okay, so maybe the quest rewards are trash, but the actual items he gets from defeating the monsters are a lot better because he got quite a few stuff right now.
I've definitely gone insane. Now familiar with opening and closing the screens, the inventory window appeared with a simple thought. 2 more of the 40 grids were now occupied with little icons, while the currency counter had the number 10 listed over the first of the 6 coin symbols. Jason took out the item labeled Healing Unguent.
Okay.
It was a small, round tin, reminding Jason of the nasty rubbing medicine his nana would put on scrapes when he was a kid.
Okay.
At least this tin wasn't rusty, like the one that had been under Nana's laundry sink longer than Jason had been alive. Nana was his maternal grandmother, while his father's mother was strictly grandmother. She was a retired otorhinolaryngologist and had no truck with rusty tins of ointment.
I mean,
he took a closer look at the tins.
Simple pans. They're not like, oh, these pans give you, I don't know, plus 10 dexterity or some shit like that. Now, these are simple pans. They're probably made out of leaves or some shit.
And item, Healing Unguent, Iron rank, common. Topical healing ointment, inexpensive concoction, ideal for superficial injuries. Consumable, healing. Effect, apply directly to injuries to heal. Effect reduced on bronze rank or higher individuals. Uses remaining 5 of 5. Unlike the tablet, the magic screens had no problem identifying the tin. Jason pulled off the lid to discover it really did look and smell like the ointment under Nana's laundry.
Okay, let me see if I'm understanding this right. So it looks like things have ranks, and I guess it's like based off of, so is it like bronze, silver, and then gold? Because they said that it's less effective on bronze rank or higher. So is iron rank is iron rank considered one of the ranks, like bronze and gold and silver, or is iron rank just, oh, this is the rank of the item, you know? So iron rank gold, iron rank silver. Maybe it's that way.
Sink. There was a sharp medicinal smell that cut through even the lingering stench of the dead creature. As for the contents, it was an oily substance that looked like butterscotch sauce made from dubiously sourced ingredients. How did I get ointment from a hamster? How did it come in a tin? With an exploratory finger, he gently prodded the wound on his head. Ow. The oversized hamster teeth had dug into his scalp.
He's seeming like a bitch right now, man.
Down the front and side of his head. Can't hurt to try, I guess. At least there's no hair to get in the way. He took some of the ointment and smeared it carefully onto the wound, which immediately started to sting. You have used Healing Unguent Iron. Uses remaining 4 of 5.
Oh.
The stinging area faded rapidly, the pain from the wound itself quickly following. Jason delicately poked the affected area, but while it was still wet with blood and ointment, he could find no trace of the injury. "Sure," he said. "If you're going to have medicine appear out of thin air, why not make it magically potent?" Jason placed the tin back in his inventory and pulled out the other icon. What appeared in his hand was a small, red-brown gem, in the shape of a teardrop. Item: Monster Core, Lesser. Iron Rank, Common.
Okay, so he do get some cores.
The magic core of a lesser monster. Crafting material, magic core. Effect: common component for ritual magic and magic item creation.
Okay.
Oh, it's for magic rituals. I'm apparently in a video game now, so of course magic is a thing.
Finally!
Jason sighed
Video
as he
game!
put the monster core back in his inventory. Maybe I've had an aneurysm, and this is just my dying brain trying to sort things out as it shuts down. He thought about that for a moment. His sister would be the one to find his body. She'd have her little girl in tow, coming to see Uncle Jason. Wow. Okay, now I'm actually hoping this whole horrible experience is real. That's the way, Jason. Indulge the delusion. Jason looked at the coin counter in his inventory. How do I take that out? He tried tapping on the number. You have 10 lesser spirit coins. How many would you like to withdraw? 1, I guess? A coin appeared in Jason's hand. It was a washed-out blue color, with a metallic sheen, but feeling more like glass to the touch. Item: Lesser Spirit Coin. Iron Rank, Common. An impure distillation of raw magic. Currency: crafting material. Effect: used to fuel lesser rank magic items or as a ritual component. Jason peered at the figure embossed on the coin. Looking closer, he realized it was an image of Jason himself, giving a thumbs up. What?
Wait,
My
what?
chin isn't that big. He turned the coin to look at the other side, which was engraved with the text, Product of Jason. G'day, mate. He ran a hand over his face. Somehow the coin itself was more ridiculous than the fact he had pulled it out of thin air. I've definitely gone insane. When the slippery creature latched its teeth onto his inner thigh, Jason yelled as much out of panic as pain. He still had no pants on, and that was much too close to the danger zone. He grabbed the long, slippery body, gripping down hard and yanking it off his leg. He screamed again as it took a chunk of thigh with it, but kept his grip and started flailing the creature into the prickly hedge. You have defeated Flying Eel. Defeat lesser monsters, 9 of 10. Jason dropped to the ground, pulled out a jar of healing unguent, and started rubbing it on the wound.
Okay, so I understand why the items are trash now. Okay, I get it now. So these creatures are like little insects, not even big ass insects, but just small little insects. So it makes sense why these rewards are trash. So I mean, you literally can just grab it off you and kill it, and just throw it and kill it. So it's not that big of a deal, but. Seems like he can't figure out where they're coming from. They're just like, he finds out they're there when they actually bite him. So that's not good. He need to get some awareness.
Ignoring the blood coming out of it. Why can an eel fly? He looked down at the wound, high up inside of his thigh. The eel had taken a decent gouge out of him.
No, you don't.
So the stinging lingered as the wound slowly
Danger
closed.
zone, that's...
Even so, the ability to watch
I don't know if the ointment can heal that.
Was amazing. After 9 encounters with different creatures, Jason had plenty of chances to see it, going through almost 3 full tins of the unguent. He used a full tin from one fight alone against something called a malicious hedgehog. One pleasant discovery was that he didn't have to stand in the stinking smoke that came off them after they were looted. So long as he touched the creature, he could back away before accepting. Even if he was far away from the dissolving creature, the loot went straight into his inventory. The only problem was that any of the creature's blood that got onto him would dissolve away as well, giving Jason a full dose of the stink. Every creature Jason looted gave out 1 lesser monster core and exactly 10 spirit coins. Most also produced addition.
Oh shit, hold on. Hold up. Okay, I think I'm good.
Jason looted, gave out 1 lesser monster core and exactly 10 spirit coins. Most also produced additional, often nonsensical rewards. Tins of healing ointment were mercifully common, but mostly he received animal parts. That would have been understandable enough, given that he was killing creatures, but they arrived in his inventory already cut and packaged. The bundle of spines he received from the malicious hedgehog was bound with string, while the meat of the tyrannical pheasant came neatly wrapped in deli paper. The animal parts were all listed as crafting materials, some of which seemed to be for cooking. While he did enjoy trying new food, Jason wasn't quite ready to put monster meat on his plate.
I'm about to say.
While he waited for the newest wound to heal, he checked the map again.
Okay.
He had a decent-sized chunk of the hedge maze mapped out now, but it was quite large, and he'd met a lot of dead ends. He plotted out his next pathway and set out again.
Okay.
There was a flower growing in the middle of the pathway, around half a meter tall, with a thick, gnarled stalk and ugly brown petals on a flower head looking like a fistful of knuckles. Everywhere else Jason had been, there was only uniform hedges and neatly cut grass. He watched it from a safe distance, but to all observation it was just a plant. Jason moved forwards cautiously, eyes glued to the flower. He gave it as wide a berth as he could, keeping at least a meter from it. Just when he thought he had passed without incident, the flower twitched, spraying spores all over him.
Uh-oh.
He got dizzy and fell to the ground, then felt a weight on his leg. A vine with a bulbous head had grown out of the ground near the flower stem, and was now winding its way around his leg. He tried to kick it away, but his head was swimming, and he flailed ineffectually. The vine kept growing, crawling up his body. The bulbous head of the vine opened up, clamping onto his head like a lamprey.
What?
Jason clenched his teeth, fighting through the haze with anger. He reached down, grabbing the vine with both hands, and started hauling on it. The ground under the flower bulged, soil spilling away as a grotesque shape emerged from the earth. It looked like a root vegetable, but was the size and shape of a baby. The vine was attached to its stomach like an umbilical cord, while the flower grew out of its head. Jason let go of the vine, crawling over to the main body and grabbing it in both hands. He lifted it up, then brought it down on his knee, smashing it again and again. People are vegetarians, he yelled through gritted teeth, every word punctuating a strike to the knee. Vegetables aren't people-tarians. With a final shout, he brought the creature down on his knee with all his strength. The plant monster broke apart like a potato that had been dropped off a building and hit concrete.
Wow.
You have defeated Carnivorous Mandrake. Quest. No shirt, no service.
I was about to say that. I'm just like, this thing reminds me of that fucking flower thing from Harry Potter. And then they said it. They said Mandrake. And I'm just like, that's what the hell it's called. It's fucking the Mandrake. But the Mandrakes, they like scream when they come out of the earth, right? So it's not entirely the same, but similar concept though. But yeah, Mandrake.
Objective complete. Defeat 10 lesser monsters, 10 of 10. Simple footwear has been added to your inventory. Primary quest objective still available.
Okay.
Taking the footwear out of his inventory,
Now you got shoes.
he discovered it was a pair of sandals. Although
Not
the
even
thick grass was
shoes,
pleasant underfoot,
sandals.
Jason still put them on. That left him standing naked, except of a pair of sandals. I think I might hate this place.
Well, that's that for that chapter. So we move on. Oh, they're trying to give me some ads. Hold on. All right, so I think we're on chapter 3 then. Chapter 3.
Chapter 3. Local cuisine. Jason frowned at the object in his hand. The carnivorous mandrake proved to be the most generous monster thus far with its loot, producing not only an extra tin of the precious healing unguent, but also something new. Item: Trowel of the Blood Cult. Iron rank, uncommon. A gardening implement, enchanted to affect certain kinds of plant. Tool. Effect: improves health of carnivorous plants. The trowel looked rather sinister, made out of some kind of black
It
metal with a red
is
sheen.
a simple
It carried the
beginning.
wear marks of having been used as a planting tool, but also had a razor edge
That's true.
that seemed wholly unnecessary for gardening purposes. Blood cult? Jason read unhappily from the item description. Who gardens with an evil trowel? Whose hedge maze is this? Not having anything better, Jason kept the sharp trowel in hand, on the lookout for more monsters. After checking his map again, he set off clutching his weapon. Still naked aside from a pair of sandals, he was very careful about where he held it.
Wait, okay, you got a weapon now?
Jason looked at the well. It was a circle of bricks, the mortar aged and crumbling. There was a wooden bucket and crank, both weathered with age. It was the kind of rustically picturesque feature he could imagine someone putting at the center of their hedge maze. Quest: stranger in a strange land. Objective complete. Explore the hedge maze, 1 of 1.
Okay.
Simple pants have been added to your inventory.
Now you got pants.
Quest complete.
All right.
100 iron spirit coins have been added to your inventory.
Iron spirit coin.
Jason gave a fist pump and took the pants out of his inventory. They were made of plain white linen, with billowy legs and a very low crotch fit, held up by a drawstring. It's like a Mennonite made some hammer pants. Did I wake up in 1991 rural Pennsylvania? Putting aside fashion concerns, Jason slipped the pants on, walking around experimentally. They were sufficiently roomy that it didn't feel much different to walking around without them. I don't suppose I can get a quest for some boxer shorts? He waited hopefully for a few moments, but no window appeared. Worth a try. After being attacked by so many creatures, Jason was a mess of blood and ointment, though the wounds had been healed. The white pants immediately became stained red and unguent yellow. With his nudity concern ameliorated, Jason was able to turn his thoughts to other aspects of his situation. He sat down
I wonder how old he is
to think over his next move. The things he was experiencing were clearly impossible, which broadly placed him in one of two situations. One, his faculties were significantly compromised, and his understanding of what he was doing was massively detached from reality. Brain trauma, hallucinogens, some kind of severe mental break. His knowledge was too shallow and his observation point too subjective to make any definitive assessment. To the best of his understanding, though, none of those options made sense. He was too lucid, too capable of critical thinking. His consciousness wasn't skipping around, glossing over the inconsistencies of a compromised mental state. That being said, his understanding of mental conditions was essentially nil. That might be what crazy felt like from the inside. The big point going for the mental impairment hypothesis was that the alternative scenario required Jason's most fundamental understandings of reality to be somewhere between woefully incomplete and breathtakingly wrong. Either way, his only real option was to get on with it. If it was all in his head, then it didn't matter what he did. Inversely, if it was real and he ran around acting like it wasn't, the consequences could be dire. He took a deep, calming breath. "All right, Jason," he said, steeling himself. "What's next?" Sooner or later, he would need to find his way out of the maze, but the fact that his quest ended on reaching the well implied there was something special about it. He started by examining the wooden frame, which had a simple crank and rope to lower a bucket, along with a little wooden roof to shield the mechanism from the weather. It only seemed to have worked to a degree, with the rope and bucket both looking the worse for wear. The brickwork was likewise dilapidated, with mortar crumbling at his touch. He stuck his head over the well to look down. To his surprise, iron rungs had been affixed to the inside of the well, leading into darkness below. New quest: Secrets of the Well. You have discovered a ladder descending into the well. Do you have the courage to explore the depths? Objective:
Courage.
explore the well, 0 of 1. Reward: Awakening Stone. Bonus objective: don't die, 0 of 1. Reward:
Don't die?
Essence. Don't die?
Don't die?
What kind
What
of quest
the
objective is
fuck
don't
kind of
die?
shit is that?
He shook his head. Bugger that. Reject quest. Secrets of the well. Jason was about to reject the quest when he heard voices coming from somewhere close
Bro,
within
he
the hedge
can
maze.
reject it, man. This shit's funny. Like, yo, go inside this well. If you get it, you can get an awakening stone. But don't die. If you don't die, then you get some essence. I'm just like, wait, don't die. What the fuck? I didn't even know you can reject quests in this game. Or not game, but in the story. That's funny as hell.
Maze. I tracked the aura of the mandrake that took my trowel, a gravelly male voice said.
Oh,
Someone had already killed it.
new
My trowel
person.
was nowhere to be found.
Oh shit.
Someone with those adventurers we caught. Another man asked. I don't care who they're with, the first voice said. I'm going to kill them, cook them, and eat them.
Okay.
I wanted to try some of that elf girl, but the mistress said we're keeping them all for the sacrifice. Bloody waste, if you ask me. Nah, elves ain't good eating. Not much meat on them. And what's there is all stringy. That human girl, she's the one you want. Lean and tender. I don't know, Dougal.
Oh,
She looked
shit.
pretty tough to me. And we always have humans. I just want a little variety.
Where is
all.
he listening to them from?
Well, this lot is all spoken for regardless. Ducked down behind the well, Jason didn't let out a breath until the voices faded into the distance. He ignored the fact that they were talking
Oh,
about elves in the
he's
face
hiding.
of a casual discussion on the pros and cons of eating people. Was that real? Or just a couple of guys with a weird sense of humor?
Nah, bro.
Cannibals? He gave it some consideration.
Why would they be joking?
Normally, cannibals would be right at the top of the crazy pile, but with the day Jason was having, it wasn't
Nobody
so
was even
familiar for
laughing.
her. He considered it some more as he started climbing down into the well. What kind of lunatic place is this? Jason was not happy with his options. A quest with the explicit objective of don't die wasn't great, but wandering blindly through a maze with cannibals roaming about struck him as an even worse option. What was he going to do? Fight them off with their own trowel? There were 2 of them, and they were a lot bigger than a tyrannical pheasant. It might have been an evil monster chicken, but it still barely came up to his waist. Even then it got some savage pecks in. He didn't have a weapon then, so he had to get in behind, reach around, and savagely choke the chicken with both hands.
What the fuck?
Jason started reconsidering his choice to go down the well when only the second rung down shifted in his hand. It was set into the brickwork at the top, the shaky mortar apparently ready to give way. Then he thought about himself hanging from a butcher's hook and kept going. Going down a creepy well or dodging cannibals, he muttered unhappily. For what felt like the 100th time, he wondered where he was, what was going on, and what evil prick dumped him naked right in the middle of it. The well was quite deep, judging from the diminishing light coming from above. He kept a careful grip on the cold metal rungs as the interior of the well became dank, the sides slick and wet. I'm definitely getting Legionnaire's disease. The light did not penetrate far down the narrow well, and Jason was soon moving entirely by feel. He descended cautiously, each foot carefully seeking out the next rung down. He would occasionally glance up at the shrinking blue circle that was all he could see of the sky, reassuring himself it was still there.
Well, at least he went down.
Maybe they're not really cannibals, he told himself. Maybe they're just talking themselves up. Unconvinced, Jason kept moving down into darkness, barely able to make out his hand on the rung in front of him. He discovered he had reached the bottom when his foot met water instead of the next rung. Some experimental probing revealed it was ankle deep, enough to submerge his sandals in the icy cold. The bottom of the well was flat, but, as it turned out, just as slippery as the walls. His feet slid out from under him, and only his hands still gripping the rungs saved him from bashing his head against the side of the well. He ended up sprawled at the bottom of the well, dank water joining the blood and ointment in staining his new pants. Lovely. The advantage of his low perspective was that he found himself looking directly at a slightly darker circle in the wall of what was already a very dark well. He reached out tentatively and found it was a hole, large enough to crawl through. He didn't know if it was the source of the well's water or some kind of drainage tunnel. No, Jason said. I'm definitely not interested in crawling in there. Reject quest. Secrets of the well. Sod off. Jason looked up again at the bright circle of sky, then the dark circle of the tunnel. With a groan, he started probing the pitch-black hole with his hands.
Well, he decided to go through at least. Alright, so...
Chapter 4. Cannibals and Spelunking. Jason slowly crawled his way into the dank tunnel, a circular pipe of wet and slimy brickwork.
I'm trying to figure out when I wanna end. I'll probably stop. Let's see, what we're on chapter 4. I'll probably stop at the chapter 5. So I'll probably get 5 chapters in, at least for this video. But we'll see how it goes.
It was wide enough to push himself along, but tight enough that he was pressed against the clammy sides. The darkness engulfed him as he moved away from what meager light reached the bottom of the well. Edging down the tunnel, touch was the only sense with which he could navigate. With the ubiquitous smell of wet rot, he wished his nose was as useless as his eyes. This is not what I planned to do with my day. If it turned out to be a dead end, he would be forced to shimmy backwards, the tunnel far too tight to turn around. Admittedly, my plans for the day were fairly loose, but cannibals and spelunking aren't things you just casually slide into the schedule.
Slowly
Talking to himself
started.
didn't help much, but any distraction was a welcome bulwark against the encroaching
We'll
claustrophobia.
see.
The gloom of the well had seemed stifling.
It's kind of
but the
like it's kind of like in any like regular video game that you play. You know, you start slowly getting into it. You start off really, really weak, but then over time you start getting stronger, and then things are a lot easier. So we're getting there. We're getting there though. But I probably T-Bay comes out tomorrow, so I might do a chapter read of T-Bay tomorrow, and I might do another. I might continue this video. I might do a part 2 of this, maybe Saturday or Sunday is kind of what I'm thinking. One of those 2 days before I go on vacation. But I ain't gonna do shit while I'm on vacation though. I can tell you that much. But I'll start again when I get back though.
The dark of the tunnel was much deeper. He felt Panic's icy fingers crawl over his flesh as the tunnel closed in on him. He knew it wasn't actually getting smaller, but his rationality seemed powerless in the cold, wet oblivion. His unraveling nerves were reaching their limit. He was ready to start pushing his way back and risk the cannibals when his hand came down on slimy, wet wood instead of slimy, wet brick.
Okay.
There was still no light, so he probed with his hands. He had reached the end of the tunnel, but had no idea what kind of space it opened into. He sensed open space, but in complete darkness it could well have been his imagination. His hands felt out some kind of platform made of wooden planks. It was wet and a little slimy, although it felt reliably solid under Jason's hands. The surface of the wood was rough, like sandpaper. Some kind of long, enduring adhesive had been used to apply sand or something similar, improving friction on the wet planks. Jason had seen something similar on bushwalking tracks. Feeling around as he crawled free of the tunnel, he felt the planks were lined up to make a walkway 1.5 meters wide. It felt like there was enough room above him to stand, but even with the sand coating, he didn't trust the slick wooden path in the dark. He continued forwards as he had in the tunnels, hands exploring in place of his eyes.
Okay.
Just a short way down the path, he found a vertical metal rod sticking out of the walkway, at the edge to his left. His hands traced the shaft upwards to a hooked end, from which was hanging some kind of metal box with a loop on top. Item: crude magic lamp. Iron rank: common. A simple lighting device fueled by low-level magic. Tool. Effect: casts light. Current charge 0%. Requires a lesser spirit coin to replenish.
He's got one of
Jason
those,
tried
doesn't
using
he?
the glowing hologram window as a light source, but even hard up against the lamp, it failed to produce so much as a murky outline. Jason fumbled about to unhook the lamp from the pole. You have acquired crude magic lamp. Current charge 0%. Requires a lesser spirit coin to activate. Expend 1 lesser spirit coin. Yes, no. Please and thank you. When the lamp lit up, Jason discovered the hard way that he had been holding the front of it pointed directly into his face. He screamed as light blasted into his eyes and dropped the lamp from his hands. It clattered away as he fell back onto the wooden pathway, moaning with hands over his eyes.
Yeah.
Good job, genius.
Blinded him.
He croaked, waiting to recover. Light a lamp right in front of your face. Real smart idea. He tentatively opened his eyes and saw the space around him illuminated from below. The light was largely obscured, but compared to complete darkness, even some shadowy outlines were bliss. It was at least enough to recognize that he was in a natural cavern. It didn't have the conveniently smooth floors of a video game cave, which was presumably why someone had put in the walkway, raised on thick wooden posts. Jason was already laying on the walkway, so he rolled over to reach down and fetch the lamp from where it had fallen. The walkway was only about an arm's length above the cave floor, so he fetched it up easily enough. Jason pushed himself to a sitting position and examined the lamp, careful not to blind himself again. As the name suggested, the crude magic lamp was a simple affair, looking rather like a miner's tin lamp. It had 3 boxy metal sides, a glass front and a loop handle on the top. Dropping it didn't seem to have harmed the glass at all. Inside, the light came from what looked like a round stone, glowing like a light bulb. He held up the lamp to get a better look at the cave. It was spookier than Jason would have liked, with plenty of dark crevices and ominous shadows. "Hello?" he called out. Between the racket he had made and the light of the lamp, there was little point trying to hide from any denizens occupying the cave. The quest drove him down into the cavern, rather than back into the cannibal maze. He was hoping that meant whatever was at the end of the cave was worthwhile. A pirate ship filled with enough treasure to stop the local country club from foreclosing on the family home would be ideal. He would be willing to accept someone who doesn't eat people. "Is anyone down here?" he asked. "If you want me to kill 10 goblins in return for an uncommon spear, I'm only really equipped for light gardening." He thought about the evil trowel, now ready at hand in case of sudden attack.
System Windows?
It could be evil gardening. Since the beam of the lamp lit up the cave like a lighthouse on a dark night, there was no point being stealthy.
Is that another book?
His hope was that he could bait out into the light whatever creatures were lurking. They would probably be adapted to darkness, and if he could dazzle them, it would at least be some advantage.
So is System Windows like another book? Like, is it like book 2 or book 3 or something like that? That's System Windows? You probably got some more female characters. That's probably why you're saying that. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe the main character transforms to a female or some shit. Who knows? The quest execution. Oh, stat. Okay. Okay, gotcha. System Windows. I see what you're saying. System Windows. Okay. That's what you mean. So, like, have a female read the system, and then so that way you can kind of tell the difference between the two. Yeah, I mean, that means that you have to have somebody, like, switching up, like, a lot. Like, even in the graphic audios that I be reading, They don't do it that particularly. They had changed the voice actor for different characters, but I don't know. I guess it all depends on which one you read. Anyway, let me continue. Try to get through this. I'm trying to end the stream in like an hour and a half is what I'm trying to shoot for. Your English, you're straight, bro. You good enough. Good enough for me.
The idea of sneaking through pitch blackness gave him the feeling that he wouldn't even know how he died. And don't die was the bonus objective after all. In video games, Jason was the kind of player who could take it or leave it with secondary goals. In this one instance, though,
so he does
his motivation
play video
levels had
games.
reached a previously unseen zenith. He started following the walkway, taking care with his steps. The sand coating had worn away in a lot of places, leaving patches of the wood slick and frictionless from years in the bleak, damp cavern. The cave turned out to be something of a natural tunnel, roughly speaking, through which the walkway followed. He made his way slowly and carefully until it came to an end at a brick wall, set into the side of the cave. In the middle of the wall was a hefty metal door, with a big wheel set into it, like a bulkhead door on a submarine. Both door and wheel were rusty, and didn't look to have been opened in some time. Now we're getting somewhere. Setting down the lamp, Jason grabbed the wheel with both hands and pulled. It didn't budge.
Okay.
Oh, come on. He yanked on it harder and harder, until his feet were braced against the door, and he hauled sideways with his full body weight. He felt a little give, then a little more, each accompanied by an unwilling metal groan. Finally, the wheel jerked loose, and Jason could turn the reluctant mechanism with heavy jerks.
All right.
Panting from the exertion, Jason shouldered open the door. Like the wheel, it resisted, and he had to shove it open in fits and starts. His shoulder grew sore as he repeatedly rammed it into the door. Finally, the door gave way with a shriek, and he stumbled through the opening. Quest: Secrets of the Well. Objective complete.
Okay.
Explore the well. 1 of 1.
He finished.
Awakening Stone of the Stars has been added to your inventory.
What is it? Awakening
Bonus
Stone?
quest objective: Don't die. Still available.
Oh, it's not over.
Awakening Stone of the Stars? Is that like the magic version of those celebrity house maps? He retrieved the lamp from where he had set it down, pulling the new object from his inventory. It looked like a fist-sized marble, black, but containing what looked like tiny stars. Item: Awakening Stone of the Stars. Unranked. Epic. An awakening stone that unlocks the power of the stars.
Epic?
Consumable. Awakening Stone. Requirements: Unawakened Essence ability. Effect: Awakens an Essence ability. You have 0 unawakened Essence abilities. You do not meet the requirements to use this item.
Wait. Go back.
That
Go
seemed
back.
more complicated than Jason wanted to get into when there was a door rotty. Effect: Awakens an Essence ability. You have 0 unawakened Essence abilities.
Wait.
You do not meet the requirements to
Go back
use this
again.
item. Consumable. Awakening Stone. Requirements: Unawakened Essence ability. Effect: Awakens an Essence ability. You have 0 unawakened Essence abilities. You do not meet the requirements to use this item.
Oh, okay. I got it. So he has to get an unawakened essence ability. So he has to get an essence ability. Once he gets the essence ability, he can use that to awaken his essence ability. All right. So now it seems like the goal is to get an essence ability. Now, how do you get that?
Item. That seemed more complicated than Jason wanted to get into when there was a door right in front of him with the promise of, hopefully, non-cannibal civilization. The interior on the other side of the door was dark, so he stepped inside and started panning the light beam of the lamp. It was a room, thankfully not just more cave. It was like a large parlor from a stately home, but after a tornado passed through. Furniture was upended, tapestries and paintings ripped down from the walls. Bookshelves had been toppled, their contents tossed around the room. There was an ornate chandelier that had crashed down from the ceiling, scattering shattered crystal across the polished floor. Searching through the mess by the light of the lamp, he found an overturned couch in the middle of the room. Under it was a man unconscious. Heaving the couch off of him revealed that he was sprawled in the middle of an elaborate pentagram, set into the floor in brass or copper. The man was youngish, maybe 30, clean-shaven with an olive complexion and a handsome face. To Jason's eyes, he looked rather Mediterranean, the good-looking kind, with the dark wavy hair. Oddly, he was wearing what looked like honest-to-goodness wizard robes.
Oh,
Jason set down the lamp to examine the man.
Like a sorcerer?
He had a strong pulse and regular breathing, but was showing early signs of extensive bruising, and his body temperature felt way too high. As Jason was examining the stranger, his eyes flickered open.
Of course, the eyes flick open. Of course.
Chapter 5. Wizard. "G'day, mate," Jason said. Looks like you've had a spill. Need a hand up? Jason offered his hand and helped the wizard-looking man to his feet. Despite a frame as slender as Jason's own, the wizard was surprisingly heavy. Standing unsteadily on his feet, the wizard looked around at the room in disarray, then at Jason, his expression confused. "Who are you?" the wizard asked. "How did you get here?" "I'm Jason, and I have no idea. I went to bed what I think was last night, and woke up in some kind of alternate universe." The wizard narrowed his eyes as he peered at Jason.
Okay.
"There's something off about your aura," the wizard said. "You're not human." "That's hurtful." "Wait, auras are really a thing?" "You said something about an alternate universe," the wizard asked. "That's just a guess," Jason said. "I mean, the continents are different. Could be a crazy far time travel thing. Do you know anything about continental drift?" The wizard's gaze moved to the magic circle on the floor, then back at Jason. "It was you," he said, angrily.
Uh-oh.
"You're what went wrong with the summoning." "Yeah, well, at least you did summon something."
The summon.
"Do you have any idea how wrong your summon made my night's sleep go? One of us has a lot more to be grouchy about than the other." The wizard looked a combination of confused and angry, but as he was about to retort, he went pale and stumbled in place.
Uh-oh.
"Crap, sorry," Jason said, moving to support him. "Get off me!" The wizard staggered in the direction of a heavy writing desk. It seemed to have escaped major displacement by being the heaviest piece of furniture in the room. He almost tripped, still weak from whatever happened prior to Jason's arrival. The wizard opened a drawer, took out a small bottle, and drained the contents. "I could use a stiff drink myself if you're offering," Jason said. "It was a recovery potion, fool,"
That's what I was thinking.
the wizard
Like,
said.
it's
then
supposed to be a
winced
healing
with pain.
potion.
"It seems the backlash will take more than a potion to fix." He gave Jason a smile that Jason did not like. "Since I can't recover mana right now, I'll have to do things the old-fashioned way. I've never tasted an Outworlder before." "Oh, no,"
Oh, shit.
Jason said, shoulders slumping.
Oh, shit.
"You're one of the cannibals." As the wizard pulled a knife out of the drawer, Jason looked around the room.
Oh,
there was a
shit.
set of wooden double doors that were presumably an exit.
Gotta get
but
a
the wizard
weapon!
was a lot closer to them.
Gotta
than
get a
Jason.
weapon! He
Remembering
weak!
how weakly the wizard staggered over to the
He
table,
weak!
Jason took a risk and tried barreling past him. It worked, but when he pulled on the door handles, they were locked.
Uh-oh.
He spun around to make back for the cave, only to find the wizard lunging at him. Jason grabbed at the arm holding the knife. Wrestling back and forth, they tripped on a piece of the overturned furniture and fell to the floor, still struggling. The lamp was lost somewhere along the way, and they battled in shadows, each trying to seize control of the weapon. Jason had a grip on the wizard's arm, trying to keep the knife from digging into him. In spite of his small frame and apparent weakness after being knocked out, the wizard was much stronger than Jason. Taking a lesson from the small, aggressive monsters he had been fighting, Jason bit into the wizard's hand.
Oh,
the wizard
shit.
yelped in surprise more than
That's
pain,
smart.
but gave Jason a chance to seize the advantage, yanking the knife from the...
Oh, God. We got more ads. Let me skip the ads. Okay.
wizard's grip.
Cool.
Still scrambling on the floor, he shoved the knife out blindly, and suddenly the wizard went limp. The knife was sticking out of the wizard's throat.
Oh,
but
damn.
he was still alive, looking
Wait,
at Jason with
how did he
disbelieving
do that so
eyes.
quick?
Jason snatched the... Still scrambling on the floor, he shoved the knife out blindly, and suddenly the wizard went limp.
So he
The
didn't
knife
even
was
aim
sticking
for him.
out
He
of the
just
wizard's
shoved
throat.
it out.
But he was still alive, looking at Jason with disbelieving eyes. Jason snatched the knife back, and blood sprayed over him, getting into his eyes and mouth.
Oh, shit.
Recoiling, he spat out blood and rubbed at his eyes. By the time his panicked flailing came to a halt, the wizard's body was still.
Damn.
You have defeated Builder Cultist.
He blindly
Jason pushed himself up. with
defeated
bloody-
him. He didn't even like really defeat him like that. He really just kind of like, and then he just, he just happened to be dead. Like, he don't even know what he's doing. But I mean, he was weak though, so it's good that he ain't had no mana. So it's fortunate for him. What reward does he get?
Tripped on debris and fell back over. His breath came in ragged starts as he lay where he fell. Eventually, he sat up, looking over at where the body had fallen directly into the light beam from the lamp. He pulled his legs up and hugged his knees, rocking slightly as he stared at the body. He had no sense of how long he stayed like that, but eventually he pushed himself unsteadily to his feet. He walked over to the bloody knife and picked it up. Item: seal knife, bronze rank, common. A dagger with the Vane family seal on the pommel. Weapon: tool. Requirements: bronze rank, speed. Bronze rank, spirit. Effect: when used to imprint a wax seal on a letter, the letter will be destroyed if opened by anyone other than the addressee. Jason stared at the bloody knife in his equally bloody hand.
Okay.
After a few moments, there was an unusual tingling, slowly rising to become pain. He tightened his grip and...
So he just got something that's gonna make sure that nobody else can open up his letters? What the hell kind of shit is that? Like, is sending letters that important?
The letter will be destroyed if opened by anyone other than the addressee. Jason stared at the bloody knife in his equally
Socks?
bloody
That'd
hand.
be whack as hell.
After a few moments, there was an unusual tingling, slowly rising to become pain. He tightened his grip until the pain became too much and the dagger clattered to the floor. You do not meet the requirements to use this item.
Oh my
Finally,
God,
he turned to the
really?
box. Its eyes were open.
Really? He can't even use the dagger? What, is his strength too low? Dexterity too low? That's crazy.
He tightened his grip until the pain became too much and the dagger clattered to the floor. You do not meet the requirements to use this item. Finally, he turned to the body. Its eyes were open, face frozen in a final expression of surprise. The room was still and silent. Jason's eyes locked on the corpse. You did this, he accused it. You did this. He didn't sound convincing, even to himself. Jason's mind was nothing but white noise as he stood over the body. When a new sound broke him out of his trance, he didn't know if it had been seconds, minutes, or hours. The sound came from above, a metal ventilation pipe in the ceiling. There was a hollow, echoing timbre to the sound, and it took Jason a moment to recognize it as a hissing noise. It was coming from the hole.
What's up, Mike?
He watched the hole, eyes unfocused and disoriented. His mind was still on the knife, as he watched absently. He could feel it, even after it fell back to the floor. He could taste the hot blood spilling out of the...
So, what am I trying to say? Oh yeah, so reading He Who Fights with Monsters, book 1, and right now we're on chapter 5 right now. But after this chapter, I'm gonna be done with the stream for now, and I should get back on here, continuing it sometime soon.
The wizard's neck. His gaze sharpened when something came out of the hole in the ceiling. It was an enormous, pitch-black snake, head barely small enough to pass through the aperture.
Oh shit!
Jason and the snake looked at each other,
He just
frozen for a
defeated
moment.
the guy.
Jason could sense intelligence in its eyes,
Okay.
although he may well have been imagining it. Then the snake hissed at Jason and continued emerging from the vent shaft, body dangling down from the ceiling.
Uh-oh.
Jason sprinted for the door back to the cave, snatching up the lamp as he moved. New quest. Time to run. The familiar of the Builder cultist sensed its master's death and has come to investigate.
Oh!
Objective. Escape. Umbral Mountain Snake.
That's the familiar of the guy he killed. Oh shit! So yeah, he gotta get the hell up out of there. Do I have a Discord? Yes, I got Discord. I do. I don't really be on there that much, but I mean, but yeah, I definitely do got Discord though. It's I could probably send a link, but yeah, I got Discord though. I don't really be on there though.
Snake. 0 of 1. Reward. Iron rank. Rare. Magical dagger.
Magical dagger.
Jason
Okay.
almost stumbled as the window popped open.
So he gotta
flailing
get away.
wildly at it as he
And he'll
rolled
give himself
close.
a weapon.
He bolted through the metal door, dropped his lamp, and grabbed onto the wheeled handle, hauling back with adrenaline-fueled strength. The rusty hinges groaned shut, and Jason yanked on the wheel to latch the door. There was another wheel on the other side, but snakes didn't have thumbs. Jason let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding, and reached down to pick up the lamp. He would need to go back up the well, but he'd rather dodge cannibals than fight a giant snake. The danger at least snapped him out of the daze he had been left in after killing a man. He was making his way along the pathway when he heard the grinding of metal behind him and had a horrifying thought. What if monster snakes do have thumbs? As he ran along the pathway, forgetting his previous caution, turned out...
Yeah, I can drop the Discord link on there. You said it's hard for you to keep follow when you're up. Oh, you might be able to if you click the notification bell, you should be able to get alerted whenever I go live on YouTube. If you click the notification bell, you should get an alert, either email or it might get like an alert on your phone from the YouTube app or something like that, so you would know whenever I go live. So that way you can keep up with it, because pretty much I only go live during the T-Bait read-throughs, or now, following this book, which, I mean, so far it seems okay. but we don't know exactly where it don't always work. That's trash, man. That's whack as hell. Um, what I could do is if you join the Discord, like the little community thing, because I'm still don't even understand how the Discord shit works. But I could just send something on there to let you know whenever I'm about to go live or something. I could be like, oh, about to go live at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, or whatever. Join YouTube or make some type of link or something and just add it to the Discord or something. But I could do something like that to make it easier.
Turned out to be a mistake. His sandaled foot slipped on a slick section of plank, and he tumbled over. He landed hard on the walkway, the sandy coating scraping on his naked torso. Lamp still clutched in a death grip, he ignored the pain to get up and keep moving. Going as quickly as he dared, he reached the end of the walkway and ducked straight into the tunnel, dropping the lamp that would slow his crawl. His hands and knees hammered into the hard surface of the narrow passage, shoulders and head banging against the side and top.
Damn.
He didn't let it slow him down, scrambling forwards until he saw the dim light at the bottom of the well. Crawling out, he fumbled straight for the rung set into the side. Hand over hand, he yanked himself upwards. Only after he was a good way up the inside of the well did he let himself pause to look down. The snake shouldn't be able to climb up, but it shouldn't have been able to open a door either. He was just turning back to resume climbing when he heard the hiss from below. The snake emerged from the tunnel, pausing to look up at Jason before sliding more of its body into the space at the bottom of the well.
Gotta get your ass out of there!
Jason watched in horror as its body started climbing up and around the outside of the well like the thread of a screw. Despite the wet and slippery surface of the well, the snake started winding its way up as it adhered to the sides. Jason resumed his climb more energetically than ever. The snake was fast,
but can he get out?
Its circuitous path around the sides was long. Jason clambered up as fast as he could, but panic made him rush, and more than once a foot slipped before getting proper purchase. He kept pushing upwards, every hand and foothold a step closer to the outside. The final rung was set into the brickwork that sat above ground, but just as Jason's hand gripped it, he felt something slip around his leg. The snake was as thick as Jason's thigh, and he hadn't even seen the full length of it. The weight of it prevented him from pulling himself any higher, and it only got worse as the creature wrapped around his torso. He couldn't pull himself any further up, but he clenched onto the top rung, hands clammy and quickly tiring. His fingers threatened to give out at any moment. But in the end, it wasn't his fingers that crumbled. The mortar in the bricks gave out, the whole side of the well collapsing. Jason, the snake, and a rain of masonry fell backwards into the dark.
Wow. He just fell down to the fucking into the well. Okay, cool. But so yeah, I'm gonna just end it right there. So next time I go live, I'll start on chapter 6 is where I'm gonna be at. But yeah, so as far as the Discord and shit, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I can send a link right now. I don't know if I can do that because that shit, no, that's starting a poll. No, that's not gonna work. So yeah, I don't know. What I'll do is I'll put a link once I upload this video and I end it. I'll put a link in the. I'll make a comment. I'll put a link in the comments, and so just check out the comments after this video. Probably give me like 5 minutes or so, but check out the comments after the video, and then that should be the link to the Discord. And so what I'll do is I'll just send something on there to let people know. Oh, I'm about to go live to read, He Who Fights the Monsters or whatever, and so that way you guys can know when I go live. But yeah, so that's what I think I'll do. That kind of make it easier since the notifications don't always be working. I know sometimes you might check your email. So sometimes if you go to your email and look at the promotions, I don't know what email, whatever email you got. Most people have Gmail, but if you got Gmail, I know you can go to the promotion section of your email. So they got like the primary. It might be social. Actually, it might be social. They got primary, social, and then what was it called? Primary, social, and promotions. And so I think if you go to your social, it should pop up on there whenever I go live. It might be on your email too, whenever I go live too. But who's always looking at their emails and shit? So that's probably more difficult. But yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'll put a link in the comments section of this video after it goes up, and you can join then I'll just kind of put something on there whenever I go live. But yeah, but as far as the story goes, the story's straight so far. we still don't. I mean, it's like the very beginning of it, so you don't really know a whole lot. Don't really know a whole lot about the character. Right now, he's just trying to like figure out how things work, how the system works. You know, he's trying to survive, trying to follow these quests and shit that they're giving him. And so yeah, so we'll kind of see what happens with this snake after he falls down, and seeing like, I don't know if he can kind of get. No, he hadn't escaped it yet, so he's not gonna get that dagger just yet. So maybe with all the stones and stuff falling, maybe it crushes the snake's head, and then he ends up killing it that way. You know, something along those lines. But yeah, but the story's straight so far. But we'll see where it goes. Like I said, you gotta give stories time. I'm gonna give the story some time, kind of get into it, kind of see how it goes. You know, it was the same thing with T-Bait. T-Bait wasn't super good when I first got into it, but I was just like, oh, you know, I'm interested in the concept, reincarnation. That's cool, and you know, having some funny moments and stuff that can kind of keep you going. So, but it's straight so far. It's straight so far. So next chapter will be, or next part I should say, will be chapter 6. So I'm gonna start from there. Gotta make sure I remember that. But yeah, I appreciate y'all joining in. I'm gonna continue to do this. So it should be, I would say probably it will be another video uploaded within a week. I'm gonna try to do like, I don't know, like a couple times a week is kind of what I'm gonna try to do with these videos. And hopefully this actually stays up and doesn't get taken down or no shit like that, which is bullshit. But anyway, I appreciate y'all joining in. I'll check you out in the next video. Peace. If I can get up out of here.